Network architecture. Control B.1. It's the control that decides one thing: when a breach happens, and it will, how far can it travel? Here's the breach that proves it. In 2016, Marriott bought Starwood hotels in the biggest hotel deal in history, $13.6 billion. What they didn't know is that Starwood's network had been compromised since 2014. They didn't just buy a hotel chain, they bought an attacker who was already inside. By the time anyone noticed, 500 million guest records were gone, including passport numbers. The attackers, a state-sponsored group, had been living in the Starwood environment for years, harvesting credentials and moving toward the guest reservation database. And when Marriott acquired Starwood, the due diligence did not include a deep security audit of that network. The two environments were simply plugged together. Here's why it ran for 4 years. The merged network was flat, no internal walls. The guest reservation system, the most sensitive asset in the company, was not isolated from the rest of the environment. There were no internal checkpoints that would force an attacker to re-authenticate as they moved toward it. So they didn't have to. They just walked. So what is network architecture? It's how your systems are connected, isolated, and controlled. Good architecture assumes that something will eventually be compromised, and designs the network so a breach in one zone can't reach another. The principle is defense in depth layers, each one slowing the attacker down. Without it, a compromised laptop can reach your production databases. A vendor connection can touch internal systems. Malware on one segment spreads to every other. And attackers persist for years, because once they're inside, there's nothing internal watching them. At Marriott, the gaps were structural. No segmentation around the guest database. No security due diligence at the acquisition. No monitoring of internal, east-west traffic, only the perimeter. And the two networks were integrated without ever being isolated and assessed first. What does good look like? Tiered zones, a DMZ for internet-facing systems, separate zones for production data and management. Microsegmentation within them, so a database talks only to the servers it must. Choke points that inspect and log traffic crossing boundaries. A security assessment before you integrate any acquired network. And a zero-trust mindset: no connection is trusted just because of where it sits. How does an auditor test it? You request the network diagrams and check they match reality. You confirm production systems sit in an isolated zone. You hunt through the firewall rules for any-to-any internal rules, the fingerprint of a flat network. If there were acquisitions, you check the integration was assessed first. And you confirm someone is monitoring internal traffic, not just the perimeter. 5 lessons. 1. Assess acquisitions before you integrate, you're buying their security debt too. 2. Segment by data sensitivity, not the org chart. 3. Monitor east-west traffic, the perimeter stops outsiders, internal monitoring stops the ones already in. For architecture is a living document, review it every year. And 5. Apply zero trust to every new connection, default to no access, then grant specific flows. Network architecture is Control B.1 of 38. I'm walking through every one with the breach that proves why it matters every week at marcoweb.org. Subscribe to get them in your inbox, and try the free ITGC audit tool.